All right. Maybe we can mute ourselves. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Jnanaatimirandasya Jnanam Jana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajeevam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shivishapam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusite Devi Pranamami Hare Krishna. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Stavita Prabhupada Priya Shri Raja Swami Sahitra Rasi Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Stavita Vishnupadaya Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavari Pacharya Shafari Mukham Karoti Vachanam Pangumanurayate Girimyatripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam. Hare Krishna, so welcome back again. I think we are all enjoying reading Shrimad Bhagavatam. So reassuring to just, see how the gurus are taking care of us. Like we are not lost in this world. Somebody's thinking of us. Just imagine, each one of us, how somebody took the trouble to, to find us, introduce us to Krishna consciousness, convince us, right? So, and behind each and everybody who introduced you is all these personalities who you're reading here in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Vyasadeva, Narad Muni, all these Rishi Munis, right? They're on a mission. They are on a mission. So they don't just leave us, waste our life. They guide. So it's very, very interesting what we've been reading. Okay, so we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4. We are on text 26. Evam pravrittasya sada bhutanam shreyasi dvijaha sarvatmakena piyada natushya tataha. O twice-born Brahmana, still his mind was not satisfied, although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of all people. So what is all this? So we read 24. this is how Srila Vyasadeva, he saw what is going on in Kali Yuga, and he decided to divide the Vedas into four. Then he compiled the Mahabharata, and still his mind was not satisfied. Although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of all people, Shri Vyasadeva was not satisfied with himself. Although he had prepared literatures of Vedic value for the all-around welfare of the general mass of people, it was expected that he would be satisfied by all such activities, but ultimately he was not satisfied. So we're going to find out why. Like he has given everything that human being is required so that he lives a life, a valuable life. He doesn't waste his life. And Vedas, Bhagavad, Mahabharata, but he felt dissatisfied. So we are going to learn why. Nati prasidad hridayah saraswatyastate sochau vitarkayan viviktastha idam chuvacha dharmavit. Thus the sage, being dissatisfied at heart, at once began to reflect, because he knew the essence of religion, and he said within himself, the sage began to search out the cause of not being satisfied at heart. Perfection is never attained until one is satisfied at heart. This satisfaction of heart has to be searched out beyond matter. Drita vratena himaya chandam si guravo ganatyaha Anita nirvyalikena grihitam chanushas shasanam Bharata vyapadesh deshina yamnayarthascha pradarshitaha drishyate yatra dharmadi strishudra jibhir apti uta. I have under strict disciplinary vows, drita vratena, unpretentiously worship the Vedas, the spiritual master and the altar of sacrifice, nirvyalikena, without pretense. I have also abided by the rulings and have shown the import of disciplic succession through the explanation of the Mahabharata, by which even women, Shudras, and others, friends of the twice born, can see the path of religion. Purport. No one can understand the import of the Vedas without having undergone a strict disciplinary vow and disciplic succession. The Vedas, spiritual masters, and sacrificial fire must be worshipped by the desiring candidate. All these intricacies of Vedic knowledge are systematically presented in the Mahabharata for the understanding of the woman class, the laborer class, and the unqualified members of Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya families. In this age, the Mahabharata is more essential than the original Vedas. All right. So it's written here. So if you want to know what are the rules, what is dharma, all right? So study Mahabharata. So I think I mentioned it last time. I think I keep on saying it everywhere, that there are 100 shlokas. Oh, we are reading chapter 4, Canto 1, chapter 4, we're on text 29, 28, 29. So, oh God, I forgot what I was saying.
You were saying there were 100 slokas you should study.
Yeah. So 100, 1,000, not 100, 100,000. I got diverted in between. So 1 lakh shlokas. So I said last week that are we showing 1 lakh shlokas in the Mahabharata movie? So we are showing only the story, right? We are not actually giving the teachings. So therefore it's good to read and get something more. Text 30. Tathapi batame dahiyo yatma.
Mataji,
Yes, Saraswati.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Sorry to interrupt. May I ask you a question? I'm not comfortable with why we women are being bundled up along with the laborer class, the unqualified members.
Okay, last week we, I think
Yeah, last week also I wanted to ask you that question. It is very disturbing to the mind to hear this.
Anybody would like to answer this? I think it's given here, right? It's given here. This purport. In this purport. Okay, I started from 24, right? It's sorry, we have to remember that
less in because of they are telling that women is less intelligent.
whatever we are studying here is making us understand aware that we are not the body, right? We are soul, isn't it? So we are soul. Now this soul has accepted a certain type of body. All right, a certain type of body, which is a specific type of body. It has certain qualities and certain capacities. The body, the capacity of the body is different from the capacity of the soul. Understand this? Saraswati ji, are you able to understand this? That you, the real person, okay, the real person, Saraswati, the Jiva, all right, is different from the capacity of the body. All right? So, this body, by our own wish, we take birth in a certain type of body, own wish. We do things. And nobody say, okay, this body for you, you decide your own body. Here are all the varieties of body and you decide your own body. Your mind has a certain inclination. Is what you like, is what you like. All right? And this mind, so it's a body, it's a machine. Like just last week, I had to go to Talasari farm, which is like 100 kilometers from here, So, and I thought I have to go and I need to come back the same day. And I was already fainting at the thought that I have to travel 100 kilometers and come back another 100 kilometers. I was just the thought was making me collapse, because I have been there before and it was a bus. And so many of us, we jam in there and we came back in the night. It took us, I don't know how many hours to get there and coming back. My body was completely finished, So the thought of going was killing me. Anyway, I said, we are going to start off at 5 o'clock. But there were some other devotees also coming. When more than one person has to travel, what happens, right? So finally, we left at 5:20. And we reached at 7 o'clock. How much time is that?
1 hour 40 minutes.
All right, 1 hour 40 minutes. And the devotee who was with me, he said, Maharaji, how come we have reached this time? I have traveled before, in this car, such a luxurious car, which is cost, I don't know how many lakh. And how did I travel in a small Maruti car? All right. I traveled in a small Maruti car. I reached in 1.5 hours, you could say. Then coming back, I said we have to come back by 2 o'clock. But no, that devotee was with me. He had his own plan. Finally, because I knew that in 1.5 hours I can come back if I leave at 2 o'clock. No. He has this. And when we set up now, he saw some market, stop there, get this, get that. And my God, Anyway, 3:30 we left from Talasari. We reach around 6 o'clock. All right. In our Maruti car. All right. What I'm saying is that the car that you reside in now, it is of no significance, that Maruti car, right? Right? People think, it's a small Maruti car, it's just like not a prestigious car. But my work was done. Whereas I sit in a high-class car, right? Look like a Sethi, and I move, and I reach in 3 hours or 4 hours. So your car does not matter. So when we were, driving, and if by ill luck or good luck, that was the first day the rain came in Mumbai, So when we were going, so that devotee who was sitting there, he told the driver, be careful. You may break there's something, something in this car. It's not a very good car. We can break this. So I thought, oh my God. So what I'm saying is that the woman's body is not first class. Right? It's a body. It's not first class. It has so many disadvantages. It breaks easily. All right. So many, we are weak. So many ailments can come fast. But that small Maruti car had the advantage that it is small. It could speed even when it shouldn't overspeed. And it reached the goal. All right. So what is being given by all the Shastra is not my false ego of what I am. Right? If I have Indra sitting on his Airavrat, right? Or his huge elephant and everything, right? And me in my Maruti car, right? Indra is king, right? He's king. He's so proud. He's always afraid somebody will pull him down. But if this simple woman, understanding the capacity of her vehicle, becomes serious and focused on reaching the goal, you will reach before Indra reach. So nobody should have any, ego about what type of body I have collected in the course of my journey in this world. Right? Today I'm in this body. Before that, I don't know in which body I was, what my desires were, and then I collected this body. The Vedas is not concerned with man, woman, Shudra, this one, that one. Shastra is concerned only in removing you, the soul, from wherever we have fallen, whichever stage we have fallen, and pick us from there and put us at the lotus feet of Krishna. That's all. It all depends on It all depends on your wish and your effort. Now we just read it. That's what I was reading one verse word by word. Dridha Vratena, this is Vyasadeva. Can we compare ourselves to Vyasadeva? Can we compare ourselves to Vyasadeva? Srila Vyasadeva, the Muni. He's a Muni, and what is he doing? Dridha Vratena. So if we tell the woman, you also be Dridha Vrata, you have understood what we are doing right now. We are showing what is the goal, the prayojan. We are showing what is the goal and how to achieve that goal. So before we show you how to achieve that goal, we have to show you where you are right now. What are the advantages and what are the disadvantages? So somebody who's intelligent would want to know what are the disadvantages and what are the advantages. So I gave you the example of Maruti car, all right? A weak car, insignificant, no sign of prestige, right? As compared to a luxurious car, right? But
Thank you, Mataji. I understood now very well.
understood, okay,
Thank you. Thank you.
all right.
Mataji,
So,
I have a question.
yes, yeah, before we even start, we have questions, okay.
Mataji, but this is on purport 27. Okay, here Prabhupada writes, perfection is never attained until one is satisfied at heart. So Mataji, can you elaborate on
But
this?
where is that?
Purport of 27th verse, Mataji.
27?
Yes, 27.
Oh, okay. Perfection is never attained until one is, okay, the sage began to search out the cause of not being satisfied at heart. Perfection is never attained until one is satisfied at heart. This satisfaction of heart has to be searched out beyond matter. So the great say, actually all answers will be given if we continue to read, right?
So, okay, fine, Mataji.
All answer, if we just stop, Prabhupada is, making an introduction and then he's going to elaborate, right? So the sage Vyasadeva, he has compiled the Vedas, he has compiled Mahabharata, he has shown everybody, he hasn't left anybody out, right? Everybody's covered. Make sure that everybody get the opportunity to improve himself or herself and attain the goal. So now the books meaning the path. When you speak of books, meaning it's the path. The process has been compiled and given, because before everything was transmitted by oral, like just heard Banuji was she just said we're speaking to the little children, right? So this is oral. The kids are not reading books. Grandmother's teaching them, right? Kailash, that was you, Kailash. Right, so grandmother is speaking to the children, so it's all oral. And now Srila Vyasadeva is putting it systematically in form of books, compiling all these books, and he's not satisfied. He's not satisfied. Why? So he's wondering, I have under strict disciplinary vows, Dridha Vrata, unpretentiously, nirvyalikena, without pretense, worship the Vedas, the spiritual master and the altar of sacrifice, this Agni. I have also abided by the rulings and I have shown the import of disciplic succession through explanation of the Mahabharata. Okay, we've finished this, right? Tathapi bhakta me dhaiyo hi atma chaivatmana vibhu asampanna iva bhati brahma varchasya saptamaha. I'm feeling incomplete though I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas. So Vyasadeva is saying, whatever is there in the Vedas, I've already accepted it and I'm following. So why am I not happy? Undoubtedly, Srila Vyasadeva was complete in all the details of Vedic achievements. Purification of the living being submerged in matter is made possible by the prescribed activities in the Vedas, but the ultimate achievement is different. Unless it is attained, the living being, even though fully equipped, cannot be situated in the transcendentally normal stage. Srila Vyasadeva appeared to have lost the clue and therefore felt dissatisfaction. I just give it an example of what are there in the Vedas, right? Let's say Grihastha. Meaning the Vedas are giving Mahabharata, is giving the instructions of how to live your Grihastha life. Okay? And let's say, like we see it everywhere, this is much more obvious when there are social functions. Let's say there is a wedding in the family, right? There is a whole procedure. It starts, so many months before. Number one, it is like beside you're getting all, the gifts ready, all the, whatever you're supposed to give to the boy, whatever you're supposed to give the girl, then the family, this side, the family, that side. There is such a culture, such a thought that goes in one simple ceremony. It's not just a ceremony. It's not just a ritual, right? So and all this is coming from the Vedas. All right? You honor your, the would-be bridegroom or the would-be bride, their families, everything is coming by tradition. The origin is the Vedas, right? What you're supposed to speak, what you're not supposed to speak, where you should look, where you should not look, right? How the girl should behave, how the boy should behave. Who can accompany the girl when she's going to her home, right? So many details, right? How is the wedding, right? To begin with, who you should get married to. All these things are given in the Vedas. And here Srila Vyasadeva has put each and everything very nicely. And then he's thinking, and he himself as a Muni, he's living his life in a certain way, right? And he's a Grihastha. His son is Srila Shukadev Goswami, right? He's a Grihastha. He's done everything and he's saying, why am I not satisfied? Kimba Bhagavata Dharma na prayena nirupitaha priya paramahamsanam taeva hi achyuta priyaha. Just a side point, speaking about weddings. So the Vedic system is preparing, it's a samskar, viva samskar. The viva samskar, okay, today let's look at the muhurt, and then we'll see whether the hall is available at this time. Then you say, yes, proper muhurt. You fix the day, the time, and everything, right? It's not like this. It's a samskara, meaning prepare both parties that there's going to be a new member in the family, right? And that one person is going to leave one family and enter another family. So all this samskara is getting in like program, you could say, in both parties. Now here, Srila Vyasadeva is thinking, why am I not happy? This may be because I didn't specifically point out the devotional service of the Lord, which is dear both to perfect beings and to the infallible Lord. The dissatisfaction which was being felt by Srila Vyasadeva is expressed herein in his own words. This was felt for the normal condition of the living being in the devotional service of the Lord. Unless one is fixed in the normal condition of service, neither the Lord nor the living being can become fully satisfied. This defect was felt by him when Narad Muni, his spiritual master, reached him. It is described as follows. So we read in the 6th canto, in the story of Vritrasura. So it said that there are millions and millions of devotees of Narayana. Narayanas. There are millions and millions. But Narayana Parayana, hardly anyone is Narayana Parayana. So here, Srila Vyasadeva says, yes, I have made people become, devotees of Narayan. Good. And they're following the rules of Dharma. And it says that this Viva Samskar, which is the most important of all samskara, all right? This Viva Samskara is Vishnu himself. Why? Because Vishnu desires that the Jiva gets a body. And this person, he prepares himself, he purifies himself so that he can go back home, back to Godhead. So when this Viva Samskara, which is done for the sense gratification of a man and a woman, when they do it for Vishnu in Yagya, all right, in this Viva Yagya, when they do it, Vishnu is doing his work through this man and woman, meaning he is bringing one soul in this material world, meaning he's allowing one soul to develop the body and not roam around without body or be lost somewhere. He's giving opportunity to one jiva to have a body which this boy and girl are going to create. Therefore, this Viva Samskar is actually Vishnu's yagya. All right? But it is indirect. It is indirect. Therefore, I'm giving you only one example. There are millions, but because here, this is a group of ladies here, so that's why I'm speaking this way. But after doing all this, Srila Vyasadeva is saying, I'm not satisfied. Why? Because direct service to Lord Krishna hasn't been described. Right? You tell me, or so many of you are married here. Right? Why are you running after Krishna? Or you're running after Krishna? Isn't it? You have husband, you have children, you're doing everything proper. Still you're running after Krishna. Why? Not satisfied. Got your answer? All right? Not satisfied. The dissatisfied. So it's not the normal condition. It's not a normal condition, to serve husband, children, in-laws, or the society. It's not normal condition. Normal condition is to serve Krishna. Right? So here Srila Vyasadeva has made a whole set of rules and regulations following the instruction of the Supreme Lord, so that people, they live in a dharmic way in the material world, in family, or as a sannyasi, or whatever. So he says, where's Krishna in all this? So practical example of all of us. 32. Tasyevam kilam atmanam manyamanasya khidyatah krishnasya narado bhyagat ashramam prag udaritam. As mentioned before, Narada reached the cottage of Krishna Dvaipana Vyas on the banks of the Saraswati, just as Vyasadeva was regretting his defects. Just as Vyasadeva was regretting his defects. The vacuum felt by Vyasadeva was not due to his lack of knowledge. Bhagavad Dharma is purely devotional service of the Lord, to which the monist has no access. The monist is not counted amongst the Paramahamsas, the most perfect of the renounced order of life. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of narrations of the transcendental activities of the personal Godhead. Although Vyasadeva was an empowered divinity, he still felt dissatisfaction because in none of his works were the transcendental activities of the Lord properly explained. The inspiration was infused by Sri Krishna directly in the heart of Vyasadeva, and thus he felt the vacuum as explained above. It is definitely expressed herewith that without the transcendental loving service of the Lord, everything is void, but in the transcendental service of the Lord, everything is tangible without any separate attempt at fruitive work or empiric philosophical speculation. So Prabhupada introduced the point about the monists. Who are the monists? What are the monists? Who are the monists? So those who are new, who don't know this word, please pen and paper, write down. Who are the monists? Who will answer this?
जो मनन करते हैं, चीजों का मनन, मतलब एक तो पढ़ना, एक समझना और एक मनन करना, माइंड में उस चीज को लेना, मुनि मनन करने वाले.
We are not speaking of Muni here. We are
अच्छा.
speaking of monists. The monists.
Okay, sorry.
Mataji, are these Sunyavadis?
Yes. The monists, they're not Shunyavadis, they are Mayavadis or impersonalists. They say everything is one. Shunyavadi say everything is zero.
Yes.
The Buddhist, they say everything is zero, Shunyavad. The monists, they say everything is one, meaning all of us who are here, we are all one. And one with
Aham Brahmasmi.
yeah, and one with who? We are one with Brahman. So there are not two, not so many here. Everything is merged and become one. This is monism. Monism. So Prabhupada is saying that the monist is not counted among the Paramahamsa. What is the Paramahamsa? See, I'm going word by word because if we are going to study more, I'm going to go fast and we are not going to explain these words. Paramahamsa, what is Paramahamsa?
The highest order in the sannyas order, the highest level in the sannyas. The Paramhamsas, or fully spiritual, self-realized souls.
What is this Paramahamsa? What is this Hamsa? Paramahamsa.
Swan-like.
Hans means,
Swan-like.
हंस मतलब जो, हाँ, स्वान मतलब पानी और दूध को अलग करके जो देखता है, मतलब
Swans are able to separate the water
Milk
from
and
the milk
water.
and drink the milk. So like that, the Paramhamsas are the ones who can actually realize the transcendental divine love of the Godhead.
And how they do that?
By separating spirit from matter.
Okay,
But-
please write it down. Please write it down. What exact answer. All right. So we give an analogy. A Paramahamsa is a swan who's able to remove milk from a mixture of water and milk. You have that ability. Can you do it? Remove water. Everybody protests. They put water in the milk. How- Right? But this bird, this Hamsa, he has a system. Now we spoke about body, right? So this is a Jeev who has inherited a body called Hamsa, and he has the capacity to remove water from milk, right? To humans, he's got a tube. He's able to remove. He's got that capacity. This is an analogy. Analogy means points of similarity, you could say. Points of similarity. So, just like a Hamsa can remove water from milk, a Paramahamsa person, Paramahamsa, he's able to distinguish this is matter, this is spirit. Just like we had to do a little dissection earlier when we were all feeling a little bit, oh, what is this woman's body, why we're being talked down, etc. Right? So we had to do a little bit of eye operation, right? So we had to separate matter from spirit. And once that was set, matter from spirit, then we relax. Right? So if we are able to maintain that position of this ability to separate matter from spirit, we are Paramahamsas. So if we don't fall down again, because it comes back, as soon my condition is such that, my ego gets poked. So meaning, what is that ego? It's matter, right? So then I fall back. So a Paramahamsa is man or woman who's able to distinguish between matter and spirit, and more important, who is able to engage in Bhagavad Dharma, who's ready to serve Krishna. So the monist, Prabhupada is saying, the monist is not counted amongst the Paramahamsa. Why? Because they don't care to do devotional service. They only want to merge in Brahman. And if they do, some arti, some alankar for any deity, at the end of it all, they believe that they and the deity is one. We are going to merge in this deity. They will say that this deity form is only temporary so that I can concentrate my mind, because I cannot understand what is the Supreme Brahman. So this Supreme Brahman has taken a shape so I can focus my mind. But when everything is over, everything is finished, then I merge in Brahman. So therefore, after liberation from this material world, or while living in this material world, they are not actually able to engage in devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vandanam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. They're not able to do it. So their worship is only lip service, we call it. Lip service. So we have to be extremely careful, So just now we're just seeing one video, this one lady who goes to, temples, and very beautiful videos she makes. One is in Tirumala,
Temple girl.
The temple girl, yeah.
Yes.
So I just saw one of this Tirumala. I guess it's a little AI also. It looks like AI. That's the sad thing, you know. But what goes on in a temple of how you worship Krishna, right? How you worship Krishna, like saying every day 1 lakh people are coming to take darshan, right? The number of brahmanas who are sitting and waking up our Venkateshwar, right? And how many things are already going on beyond, what is visible to us? The number of brahmanas who are there in that kitchen making the laddus for the offering, the Raj Bhoga offering, the Shayan Arti, etc., etc. Unless you are a lover of Krishna, you won't do all this. So you can't pretend, it says earlier. Without pretense, Srila Vyasadeva, he had worshipped the Vedas, etc., etc., without pretense, and still he was not satisfied. So the monies, they'll make a show of devotional service, but when you will take a little hard, then they will give up. They're not interested to do seva. They can't do seva. Let's read the last one and then we'll stop. Tamabhigyaya saha pratyuthaya gatam munihi Pujayamasha vidhivan Naradam Surapujitam. At the auspicious arrival of Shri Narada, so what happened? So he was feeling so dejected. So at that time, Narada reached the cottage of Krishna Dvaipana Vyas on the banks of the Saraswati, just as Vyasadeva was regretting his defects. So he became aware. See, all of us who are here, right? Like somehow in our heart, we start feeling some discomfort. And therefore we want to learn. And when you want to learn, then the spiritual master will come. So Narad Muni, he appeared, right? He appeared for Srila Vyasadeva. Or at the auspicious arrival of Sri Narada, Sri Vyasadeva got up respectfully and worshipped him, giving him veneration equal to that given to Brahmaji, the creator. Vidhi means Brahma, the first creator living being. He's the original student as well as professor of the Vedas. He learned it from Shri Krishna and taught Narada first. So Narada is the second Acharya in the line of spiritual disciplic succession. He's the representative of Brahma, and therefore he's respected exactly like Brahma, the father of all vidhis, regulations. Similarly, all other successive disciples in the chain are also equally represented as representatives of the original spiritual master. Now you know what is the meaning of vidhi. Who will tell you what is vidhi? Vidhata. Who's this Vidhata?
Mataji, they say it is said often Vidhi ka Vidhan. So people think in India Vidhi means Bhagwan. But actually, according to this, Vidhi is Lord Brahma.
So what do they think? Vidhi
Say-
is what?
So, Mataji, if something happens something has happened, let's say somebody has passed away. So then people will say it is Vidhi, ye to Vidhi ka Vidhan tha. So that Vidhi ka Vidhan means this Vidhi, according to how it is said, it sounds as though they're talking about Bhagwan, Sri Krishna. But this, according to what it is written, Vidhi means actually Lord Brahma.
Yes. Okay, he's created. So Lord Brahma is created. So meaning he also has to obey, right? He also has to obey Ishvara Parama Krishna. Vidhi meaning the rules and regulations. Vidhi. right? The regulations. Let's read it again. Vidhi means Brahma, who's the first created living being. All right? He's the first student. Remember? We're going to read later in Canto 2 how Lord Brahma, he got the instruction from Narayan in Chatur Shloki. All right? So he's the first student. And we did read. Verse Janmadi Asya Yaton Vayad Itaratas Charteshu Abhigyaswara Tene Brahma Rida Ya Adi Kavaye. So this knowledge is revealed to Lord Brahma through the heart. This is your chapter 1, text 1. This is the invocation itself of Shrimad Bhagavatam, right? This is the invocation. So Tejo Vari Mridam, Tene Brahma Rida Adi Kavaye, he's the first student, right? So through the heart, because the revelation. So he's the first student and he's the professor of the Vedas, meaning he's teaching the Vedas, right? So who did he teach it to? He taught it to Narada. So Narada is the second Acharya in the disciplic succession of Brahma. All right. Then Brahma, and therefore he's respected exactly like Brahma. This is Narada, the father of all vidhis, regulations. Is somebody regulating us? So yeah, it's true also when you die, it's programmed. It's true. So Brahma, he has, set the clock for us, but he's setting it according to, right? Maya Jakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam, right? This material world, everything finally is going on under the jurisdiction of the Supreme Lord. Brahma also is not independent. Okay, so any question? Now we can take question because now chapter 5 will start something different. Not different, but 5 minutes.
Mataji, here it is all about satisfaction. So that means one reaches a level of satisfaction when the Lord is satisfied. Is that understanding correct?
So meaning that even with ourselves, right? It's like, see, we are individually. Now we take the example of Srila Vyasadeva. He has followed everything that's there in the Vedas, right? He's the personification of the Vedas, you could say, but he's not satisfied. So he's trying to figure out why. So similarly for all of us, so we may do everything that we've been told. So if we are inside the heart, we are not feeling satisfied. So maybe it means that we also need to check. We need to check and see, what is it that's missing so that we can take the next step in our devotional path itself. When Srila Vyasadeva is compiling all these Vedic literatures, right? They're actually mundane literatures. See, they're mundane literatures. They're not transcendental. They're mundane. But they're dharmic. Right? They're dharmic, but they are mundane. So similarly, with us also, we may be devotees, but there are so many other things that may be mundane about us. And therefore, we don't feel satisfied. So if we are not feeling satisfied, then maybe we need to look and continue and continue. And the process is such that before we die, a mirror is held up, right? A mirror is held up, and we look and we make our own account. All right? We make our own account. Next life will be according to the account that I myself have made. Right? Nobody except ourselves are going to decide, where I take birth. Unless we are sinful people, then we have no choice. Then we are just pushed by Yamaraj, wherever he decides. But those who are endeavoring, right? Who are endeavoring. Introspective sages. A devotee is introspective. So here Srila Vyasadeva, he is being introspective. He's honest, right? Otherwise, my work is done, finished. I'm pakka, I've done everything. Say he has served the Vedas without false pretense. He's sincere, right? He's sincere. So this is very much required. We can't just, close my eyes and pretend everything is okay. I'm wearing Kantimala, I chant, I offer my food. I do, little seva here and there. No. So, grace of the Supreme Lord as we grow older and older, is put in front of us. How to make our account? So this is very interesting what's happening here. And thank you for giving me this opportunity, that you are here, you are ready to, read Bhagavatam, and therefore I'm reading Bhagavatam. I don't know how many millions of times I have heard and read and whatever.
Thank you for taking us as your students. Really appreciate you teaching us.
Oh, dissatisfaction. I need somebody to ask question. If there's no question, there's no realization, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
So you catch one line, right? You catch one line and then say, what is this? What is this? The sage began to search out. All right? The sage being dissatisfied at heart at once begin to reflect. What's the Sanskrit? Na ati prasidat hridayaha sarasvatya tate socha suchau vittar kayan, having considered viviktastha, situated in a lonely place, idam cha, also this uvacha dharmavit, sitting in a lonely place. This is essential for spiritual advancement. If your life is only outward, external, socializing, partying, even Hare Krishna parties or whatever, going back home, back to Godhead is extremely serious work. Right? So taking that moment to be alone with oneself. And as I said, material, Krishna's system is that before, as you grow older, that mirror will be put up in front of you for you to look at your own face. This examination of the heart. So the sage began to search out the cause of not being satisfied at heart. Ordinary people, what they do, they will just silence that voice. right? They'll silence that voice. They don't want to face it. They silence that voice, meaning they're foolish. They are human beings, but because they are not trained, right? They are not trained to think. They are trained only how to earn money to eat and sleep and have a big house and have prestige, right? So when the voice inside speaks, they just push it silent. The voice of their own soul. So here, so you need to be in a quiet place, in lonely place. Viviktastha. Vivikta meaning where you can think. Think. What am I? See, don't worry about everybody else. Worry about yourself. Right? Worry about yourself. I'm on a path. I'm taken my car and I have to drive through this universe and I have to reach a certain goal. So I need a roadmap. I need a guide. And I need to be focused on my goal. So Srila Vyasadeva, by his example, is showing us the sage began to search out the cause of not being satisfied at thought. Perfection is never attained until one is satisfied at thought, meaning that when you found what is the cause of your dissatisfaction and you do the process, right? You accept the process by which finally you're satisfied. And as we say, the child is happy and satisfied only when he or she is in the lap of the mother, right? The ultimate destination for a child. So if we manage to come to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord and we surrender to Him, then only then we can be satisfied. So that was Srila Vyasadeva's problem. I have under strict disciplinary vows, unpretentiously worship the Vedas, the spiritual master and the altar of sacrifice. Chandamsi Guravo Gnayaha. Chandamsi means the Vedic hands, Gurava, the spiritual masters, Agyayaha, the sacrificial fire. I have abided by the rulings and have shown the import of disciplic succession through the explanation of the Mahabharata, by which even women, Shudras and others, friends of the twice born, can see the path of religion, meaning he has given them, here it is. I mean, just imagine you're a teacher. You have gathered all information and you're telling the student, here I'm giving you the eyes. This is what you're moving on. And as you're moving on the path, the teacher is stopping and saying, I'm not reaching the goal. He's putting everybody, all students, he's putting, he's giving them the eyes. See, this is the path. This is the path. And he came to a point and he says, why am I not satisfied? It's significant. Those of you who are teaching, very, very significant when you feel that, okay, I'm a teacher, but I think I need to become a student now. Right? So our great, great Acharya Srila Vyasadeva is saying, I have to become a student now. Very, very significant. Right? And sincerely, honestly, with total humility, not ahankar, I'm a great acharya. I know everything. Who can teach me? And Prabhupada writes, he's an incarnation of the Supreme Lord, right? Right? Incarnation somewhere, Prabhupada wrote, is incarnation of the Supreme Lord. But even then, he felt, no. Yeah, although Vyasadeva was an empowered divinity, he still felt dissatisfaction because in none of his works were the transcendental activities of the Lord properly explained. I remember very well, when I read Mahabharata or saw Bhagavad Gita, I was following Krishna in the whole Mahabharata. I was only looking out for one person only, that was Krishna. And he kept evading. Isn't it true? He kept evading. Why? Because Krishna doesn't have much role in Mahabharata. That's why Srila Vyasadeva is not satisfied. You've seen somebody, but he keeps on, he's nowhere to be seen, right? Too many other stuff was described in Mahabharata, so therefore he's not satisfied. So he says, here he is. Bhagavatam is only about Krishna. But even then, only in this first canto will Krishna appear. Then again he disappears. Then all the different incarnations will come. And then finally he'll make his entry in canto 10. So very difficult to get Krishna. Extremely difficult to get Krishna. He still felt dissatisfaction because in none of his works were the transcendental activities of the Lord properly explained. The inspiration was infused by Shri Krishna directly in the heart of Vyasadeva, and thus he felt the vacuum, which missing in the heart. It is definitely expressed here with that without the transcendental loving service of the Lord, everything is void. In the transcendental service of the Lord, everything is tangible, without any separate attempt of fruity work or of empiric philosophical speculation. Okay, so I think that was very fulfilling, right? Now we understood, I've already understood, we haven't reached the end of the journey, whoever we may be, right? Not reach the end of the journey, right? I remember this one devotee, I don't know which sampradaya, he was invited in one retreat by Sachidananda Maharaj. So this devotee, I think it was a sannyasi. So he said that the bhakta, the sadhaka is doing sadhana, year after year, he's doing the sadhana. Thak jata hai, he says. He say, when you come to that point where I cannot do anymore, then what would be, if you're an actual devotee, what will you do? You'll surrender to Krishna. If you're not a devotee, you say there's nothing in this, let me move out from here. Right? This is how people fall from the path. Right? So you're lucky if year after year, you're able to hang on. You don't give up, right? I mean, it's very selective. going back home, back to God. It's extremely selective. Test one by one, right? Go everything. Go up. And you're not going to be spared of the test at all. This will come according to your level, right? So this is only to make sure that when we come out of this material world, we are actually a Paramahamsa devotee. We are not somebody who will be a nuisance in Golo, Vrindavan or Vaikuntha, or wherever you want to go, right? You cannot be a nuisance. We cannot be a nuisance. So therefore, all these stages are there. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So,
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So we'll meet. Oh my God, this space doesn't allow.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Stop this.